Fear often stops life before it even begins. Many people never take the first step because fear whispers what might go wrong. You may want to change your life, start something new, or speak your truth, but fear holds you back. Stoicism teaches that most suffering comes before action, not after it. The mind creates stories of failure that have not happened yet. Fear freezes the body and delays the soul. You wait for the perfect moment, but it never comes. Stoic thinkers believed that action gives clarity, not overthinking. When you stand still, fear grows stronger. When you move, fear starts to weaken. Life rewards movement, not hesitation. Even a small step breaks fear's control. The moment you begin, fear loses its power over you. You realize that you were capable all along. Starting does not mean you will succeed instantly. It only means you refuse to let fear decide your life. Progress begins when you act despite fear. That choice alone changes everything. Many fears feel real, but they are often illusions created by imagination. The mind loves to predict pain, rejection, and loss. Stoicism reminds us that most fears live in the future, not in the present moment. Right now, you are usually safe. Right now, nothing terrible is happening. Fear tricks you into suffering twice, once in your mind, and once if the event ever happens. Ancient Stoics trained themselves to question fear. They asked if this fear is based on facts or assumptions. Most fears disappear under honest examination. The mind exaggerates danger and underestimates strength. Fear feels loud, but it does not mean it is true. When you slow down and observe your fear, you see it clearly. You realize it is only a thought, not a command. Thoughts come and go, but you remain. When fear loses its authority, calm replaces panic. You learn to respond instead of react. This awareness frees you from imagined threats. Life becomes lighter when fear is no longer mistaken for truth. The mind is powerful, and it shapes how life feels. Stoicism teaches that events do not disturb us, but our thoughts about them do. Fear is often born from the stories we tell ourselves. We imagine worst-case outcomes and believe them without proof. The mind repeats these stories until they feel real. But thoughts are not facts. You can observe them without obeying them. Stoics practiced separating reality from opinion. When something happens, they focused on what is within control. The mind may say you are not ready or not strong enough. That voice is learned, not natural. You are not born afraid of your potential. You were taught fear through experience in society. Once you understand this, you gain freedom. You can choose new thoughts. You can replace fear with reason. You can guide your mind instead of being ruled by it. Control begins with awareness. Awareness leads to inner strength. Courage does not arrive before action. It comes after you move. Many people wait to feel brave, but bravery grows through doing hard things. Stoicism encourages action, guided by values, not emotions. Fear may be present, but it does not need to lead. When you act in line with your principles, courage builds naturally. The first step is always uncomfortable. The second step feels lighter. With each action, confidence increases. Courage is a habit, not a personality trait. Stoics believed that character is formed through repeated actions. You do not defeat fear by thinking about it. You defeat fear by living despite it. Action proves to the mind that you are capable. Every brave moment becomes evidence of strength. Over time, fear loses its grip. Courage becomes familiar. Life expands when you act with purpose. You stop waiting for permission and start creating momentum. That is how courage grows. Your thoughts are powerful, but they are also manageable. Stoicism teaches that you always have control over how you interpret events. You may not control what happens, but you control your response. Fear often comes from believing you have no choice. But you always have a choice in thought. You can choose patience over panic, You can choose logic over fear. When you pause and reflect, you regain control. The mind can be trained like a muscle. Daily reflection was a key Stoic practice. They reviewed their thoughts and corrected them gently. Over time, calm replaced chaos. You can do the same. When fear appears, ask if it serves you. If it does not, release it. Replace it with a stronger thought. Thoughts shape emotions. Emotions shape actions. Actions shape life. Control the first step, and the rest follows naturally. Fear grows stronger when avoided. The more you run from it, the bigger it becomes. Stoicism teaches that avoidance feeds fear. When you avoid challenges, the mind learns to stay afraid. Fear feels safe in avoidance, but it is a false safety. Facing fear feels hard, but it brings freedom. Each time you avoid fear, it demands more control. Each time you face it, it loses power. Stoics believe in voluntary discomfort. They trained themselves to face small hardships to build strength. This practice reduced fear of loss and pain. When you stop running, fear has nowhere to hide. You discover that fear cannot harm you unless you believe it can. Facing fear builds trust in yourself. You learn that you can survive discomfort. That realization is powerful. It makes you resilient. Fear weakens when courage is practiced consistently. Growth never happens in comfort. Comfort feels safe, but it limits potential. Stoicism teaches that growth requires challenge. Muscles grow through resistance. The mind grows through difficulty. When life feels too comfortable, growth slows. Fear often guards the edge of growth. It tries to keep you where you are. But beyond fear lies development. Stoics embrace challenge as training. They viewed obstacles as opportunities to improve character. Each struggle builds wisdom. Each discomfort strengthens resolve. Growth feels uncomfortable because it requires change. Change threatens familiarity, but familiarity does not guarantee happiness. Growth expands perspective and ability. When you step outside comfort, you meet a stronger version of yourself. That version has always existed. Fear simply kept it hidden. Growth rewards those who accept discomfort with patience. The reward is confidence and self-respect. You are stronger than fear, even when it feels overwhelming. Stoicism reminds us that inner strength is greater than external pressure. Fear feels powerful because it attacks the mind, but the mind can be trained. Strength grows through experience. Every hardship survived adds to inner power. Stoics focused on endurance and resilience. They believed strength was built through accepting reality. When you accept what is, fear loses influence. Resistance fuels fear. Acceptance dissolves it. Strength comes from knowing you can handle life as it comes. You have survived every difficult day so far. That is proof of strength. Fear underestimates your resilience. When you trust yourself, fear fades. You realize that strength is not loud. It is quiet and steady. It carries you forward without drama. Fear fades when faced directly. When you look at fear without judgment, it softens. Stoicism teaches calm observation. Instead of fighting fear, observe it. Fear is temporary. It rises and falls like a wave. When you face it, it passes quicker. Running from fear keeps it alive. Facing fear shortens its lifespan. Courage is not absence of fear. It is willingness to feel fear and act anyway. Stoics practiced acceptance of emotion without surrendering control. They allowed fear to exist without letting it decide. This approach removes fear's authority. You see fear as a signal, not a ruler. When fear fades, clarity remains. Clarity guides better decisions. Facing fear repeatedly builds confidence. Over time, fear loses its intensity. Life is shaped by choices. Stoicism teaches conscious choice over impulsive reaction. Every moment offers a choice between fear and courage. Fear chooses safety. Courage chooses growth. Choosing courage does not mean recklessness. It means acting with wisdom despite uncertainty. Stoics valued courage as a core virtue. Courage aligned actions with values. When you choose courage, life expands, opportunities appear, confidence builds, fear shrinks. Each courageous choice strengthens character. Over time, courage becomes natural. Fear becomes background noise. Life feels fuller and more intentional. Choosing courage daily creates momentum. Momentum leads to purpose. Purpose gives life meaning. Fear loses control when courage leads. That is how you reclaim your life.